Conjoined twins Abby and Brittany Hensel, who are stars of a TLC reality show, are in the headlines recently for Abby coming forward and revealing that she got married to this Army veteran in 2021. Now, I'm sure many of you, like I did, have questions. And I would say the top question is probably, what are conjoined twins? How often do they happen? And how did this happen, right? So in order to understand conjoined twins, you have to know a little bit about embryo biology. This is a diagram showing a fertilized egg growing all the way to a day 5, day 7 embryo that's ready to implant. At any point along the way of this developmental path, you can have an embryo split, and that's what leads to monozygotic or identical twins. A lot of twins are not identical or monozygotic. They're known as fraternal, and they actually arise from two different eggs being fertilized by two different sperm, and this results in two pregnancies in the uterus. Unlike monozygotic identical twins, where you have a single egg fertilized by a single sperm that at some point along the way divides into two and results in two babies. Monozygotic twins or identical twins are quite rare, occurring in unassisted pregnancies less than 1% of the time, and in assisted pregnancies, mainly with IVF, a little bit higher of a rate of 2 to 3%, still low and rare overall. How early in development or how late in development the split of the embryo occurs is crucial to understand how much each twin is sharing with the other twin. So the earlier the split happens, between 0 to 4 days, for instance, you're going to have separate amniotic sacs and two separate placentas. This is the lowest risk type of identical twin pregnancy. If the split happens between 4 and 8 days, then you're going to share a placenta, monochorionic, that's what that means, and have two different amniotic sacs. And that is something I commonly see in my practice, either di or mono-di twins. If the split happens later at 8 to 12 days, then you're going to have something called monochorionic, monoamniotic twins, where they share one placenta and one amniotic sac. These are considered very high-risk pregnancies because of the risk of the cords getting tangled. And usually these twins have to be delivered quite early to avoid some of those risks. Now, if the split happens after 13 days, that's when you have conjoined twins. Thankfully, conjoined twinning is really rare, less than 1 in 50,000 cases. They are very complicated situations that can vary from case to case, depending on which organs are shared. The least number of organs are shared, the better the outcome, the better the chance of separation surgery being successful. But cases where organs like the heart or other organs in the thorax or the cranial cavity are shared tend to have a very poor prognosis and poor outcome. In general, the risk of stillbirth of conjoined twins is very high, anywhere between 40 and 60%. So hopefully that answers the big questions you have about this story. Some other interesting questions that I saw online when reading about this was, is it possible for them to get pregnant? There are very few cases of conjoined twins getting pregnant, and if they do get pregnant and conceive, they would be the first dicephalic, meaning having two heads, one body, conjoined twins to do so. They do have one set of reproductive organs, so it is theoretically possible. And actually, 2 years ago, it was reported that a former conjoined twin who survived separation surgery successfully went on to conceive and give birth to a full-term healthy baby.